I came to the United States as an international student in 2008. I attended BYU Hawaii. Upon my arrival, I enjoyed my experience in Hawaii and I saw so many cultures. And there was a cultural night I attended and it was very, very interesting to me. The first thing that came to my mind was, why? Why is there no African culture represented here? And that just sparked my interest and my passion about portraying my culture, enlightening people about African culture. Upon my arrival at Utah Valley University, I noticed that there was an African club, but it wasn't too effective. So I met a very good friend of mine, Leonard Bagawa, and he encouraged me to be the president of the African club. And I took on that responsibility because I was really passionate about the African culture, enlightening people about Africa, and also just showcase what we're proud of. We, the African Club, with Leo Robert, who was the advisor then, and also David Sajinja, who was also the advisor then, we decided to come up with an African Culture Night. It was huge, it was successful, we had over 1,000 people show up, and it was something new and different. So we felt really proud of ourselves. We felt that we've been able to showcase our culture through that Culture Night. So the following year, we decided to make it a little different, where we would do a fashion show and showcase the clothes we wear from Africa and also use it as a fundraising event. Now the question arises as to who do we give the money to when we raise the money? And that's when we thought of having a competition. And we thought of Miss Africa Utah. Actually, Nellie Kent came up with the name. She's an awesome friend of mine. We thought that was brilliant and we called it Miss Africa Utah. And the whole goal of Miss Africa Utah was to showcase African culture, enlighten people about Africa, empower these young African immigrants, and give them a platform to showcase what they're passionate about, and at the end get scholarship to go to school. The Miss Africa Utah Scholarship Program has really impacted the lives of these young women that have participated. We see them coming from being really shy to not wanting to talk in public to being very vocal and expressing what they're passionate about. We've seen how these girls have transformed, and we love that the Miss Africa Utah is transforming these young African immigrants from being that person who has experienced some cultural shock to integrating into the American community and also being successful in life. The Miss Africa Utah Scholarship Program is put on by a group of volunteers who are really passionate and dedicated to the cause. I couldn't have done this by myself. I have a team who is very passionate and dedicated to the cause of Miss Africa Utah. And they volunteer their time and money and effort to make the dreams of these young African immigrants come to life.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our special virtual edition of Miss Africa Utah 2020. My name is Brittany Johnson, and I'm going to be your host for tonight. We are super thrilled to have you for this very special edition, the first ever virtual Miss Africa Utah, as we continue to be vigilant and follow the CDC guidelines and practice all the necessary restrictions. We still feel the need to continue our mission of empowering young African women and enlightening everyone about Africa's rich cultural heritage. Hence, the reason we are turning this into a virtual star-studded event tonight. It's a medium to pass our message across, not only to Utah, but to the world at large. So thank you for joining us today. We know that you will be empowered, enlightened, and entertained. I'm excited to introduce our judges for this year's special edition of Miss Africa Utah. Our first judge for Miss Africa Utah is Jim Wall. Jim is a co-founder of Navigators Academy. Navigators Academy is a nomination-based leadership academy here in Salt Lake City. The academy acknowledges leaders of influence to coach academy class members and give them access to their spheres of influence. Now, Jim is a constant presence in the community and has participated on more than 20 Utah boards and committees. In 2004, Jim was honored as the American Heart Association Heart of Utah recipient. He graduated from Brigham Young University with a degree in communications in 1972. Jim, we appreciate your selfless service to the community and thank you so much for joining us for a judge for Miss Africa Utah 2020. Next, we have Chris May. Chris is the executive director of the Professional MBA online program, and the MBA Career Advancement Center at the University of Utah. She has worked in academics in various positions within educational institutions. She taught, developed faculty and staff, created new courses, and worked to increase the quality of instruction and support in various programs across the Valley. She is currently a PhD student studying organizational communication and served as a board member for the Rape Recovery Center. She looks forward to continuing to work with students, faculty, and staff at the U of U and is very passionate about student outcomes and program improvement. Chris, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to be one of our fantastic judges. Next, we have Annabelle Abine, Executive Director and founder of African Fest USA. Annabelle Abine, originally from Ethiopia, is a Canadian entertainer, businessman, and entrepreneur. He manages Cafe Lalibela, a top-rated Ethiopian restaurant in Arizona, and he has expanded with the line to mainstream markets like Whole Foods Market and natural grocers. Being an active member of the community, Annabelle tries to give back as much as possible. And back in 2017, he created a nonprofit organization called Africa Fest USA. It serves to educate and entertain people in Phoenix, Arizona, and to promote African culture through music, film, arts, fashion, and foods. Annabelle believes because of the African community in Arizona's collective effort, the city of Tempe declared March 30th, 2019 to be African Fest USA Day in Tempe, Arizona. Annabelle not only hopes to inspire increased cultural understanding between the two cultures, but also promote local business ties amongst the local small-scale business owners and provide a boost to the local economy. Annabelle, thank you so much for joining us. We are extremely happy to have you as a judge for Miss Africa Utah 2020. Moving on to our next judge, Christelle. Christelle is currently a student at the University of Utah, completing a dual master's degree in health administration and public administration. She serves on the board of directors for the nonprofit organization called Future Scholars of Africa. The organization with an aim to ensure the success of Africans aspiring for higher education in the state of Utah. In 2017, she entered the Miss Africa Utah Scholarship Program, a scholarship program that provides educational opportunities to young African women in Utah. This was an exciting year-long program in which she learned various topics from etiquette to college preparation. During her reign as queen, she volunteered in the community, participated in cultural festivals, spoke at various high schools to empower young girls and students to take upon leadership positions. She had the honor of speaking alongside former Mayor Jackie Biskupski as a featured speaker at the opening ceremony of the New Americans of Salt Lake Portrait exhibit. She stands by her platform of Youth Unification Initiative because she believes that the power to change and shape the world lies in how we can educate and empower our youth so they can grow up to become leaders our nations need. Christelle, we definitely enjoyed your reign as Miss Africa Utah. Thank you for being back this year as a judge. And finally, we are excited to have Isaac be one of the judges for Miss Africa Utah. Isaac Iwalofa. Isaac is one of the founding team members of the controllers team supporting the investment management division at the Salt Lake City Goldman Sachs office. He is currently the vice president, financing group at Goldman. Isaac's team has controllers oversight for the investment banking division. Isaac enjoys working at Goldman Sachs and, above all, giving back to the community. He led the team that created local chapters of the National Association of Black Accountants and National Society of Black Engineers in Salt Lake City as a part of efforts to build a thriving community of Black professionals. Isaac enjoys helping teach, provide resume writing skills, and general advice about school and education opportunities to high school and college students. Isaac, we appreciate your time and thank you for joining us as a judge for Miss Africa Utah 2020. Today we'll be getting to know our contestants and a little bit more about their platforms. In this segment, we will get to hear more about each contestant's plans to promote and implement their platform. In this segment, the judges are going to be looking for the 5 W's and H. Those are, what is the platform? Why did they choose that platform? Who are the target audience? When do they intend to carry out their platform? Where will the platform take place? How do they intend to carry out and promote their platform? And how will the issues they are addressing be solved? Let's go on and hear from our contestants. Contestant number 1, Miss Cameroon, Utah.
Aloha, my name is Anna and I represent Miss Cameroon for the Miss Africa Utah pageant. I am a graduate with a degree in exercise science from the beautiful island of Laie, Hawaii, from Brigham Young University, Hawaii. I have a passion for fitness. I also have a passion for health. And I have a passion for outdoor recreation such as hiking, biking, and pretty much anything that you can do that involves rocks, climbing, and enjoying the great outdoors. I am also a single mother, a very passionate single mother, who loves my child and has been blessed with many opportunities and many blessings, even being a single mother, going through the challenges that I've gone through. Being a single mother is what brings me to my platform. My platform is called Raising Rio. It is a foundation that I have developed to help single mothers like myself and women of color, as well as women in Africa, so that they can have safer, healthier, and happier pregnancies and postpartum experiences. This year, I became a certified doula, a pre- and postnatal yoga instructor, and I studied birthing and wellness. I learned the best practices that I could so that I can be able to help other women have healthier pregnancies and postpartum experiences. I've struggled in many ways as a single mother, but because of a tribe of women who assisted me in learning, giving me finances, and helping me have care when I really needed it and at my lowest points, I've been able to thrive. I want to create opportunities for women like myself to receive aid and have safer, healthier, and happier birthing experiences, just like I did, because of the tribe of women that was behind me. That's why I created Raising Rio Foundation. This foundation is going to help single women of color who are financially burdened have the aid needed and the relief needed during their time of pregnancy and postpartum. Women of color are 3 to 4 times more likely to suffer pregnancy-related deaths. The racial disparities in maternal health care are real. With the help of my foundation, mothers can have the much-needed support system that could be the key to what they need to living healthier and happier lives. With the Raising Rio Foundation, I will be selling hand-sewn baby blankets, bibs, and wraps, sewn by my sister friends from when I lived in Uganda, as well as a local group of sisters from Africa. I will also be selling African dolls and toys and other items sewn by various African women in various parts of Africa, with the partnership that I have with a company that works with women in Africa to provide jobs and help them to be able to have better lives. With the money that I earn from the Raising Rio Foundation, from all the sales that I make, I will be creating a relief fund with an application that will be open to mothers who are, again, single or women of color, wherever they may be, in Africa or here in my own country. Women will be able to apply for their funds for the things that they need, whether it be medical care, items for their baby, items for their postpartum experience, or perhaps a flat tire or an emergency that they may be going through. In addition to the funds that will be collected to help provide aid to the mothers wherever they may be, I will also be hosting a birthing kit assembly day twice a year. These birthing kits will be built and created so that I can send them to Africa, to Cameroon, as well as Uganda and Ghana and several other countries in Africa, to help women to have safer, healthier birthing experiences. The World Health Organization believes that birthing kits are an essential tool for use by birth attendants when delivery occurs outside of a designated facility, particularly in emergency settings. There is evidence from around the world demonstrating that birthing kits prevent childbirth-related infections and also act to improve health outcomes for mothers and babies by removing barriers and supporting mothers to access health services. In many low-resource settings, health facilities are not adequately equipped with clean supplies, so kits can be used as a resource to improve the basic cleanliness of the environment. Thus, I will be using these kits to help mothers in Africa be able to have, again, healthier, safer pregnancies. I believe that the Raising Rio Foundation and my community work as a doula and birth and postpartum educator, single mothers and new moms in Africa and around the world, as well as in my own country, will have a tribe that they need to feel confident with their birthing experience, as well as raising up the new generations. They say that it takes a village to raise a child. I believe this is true. I also believe that it takes a village to raise a mother. I'm here to help mothers find their tribe, to have that support and to have that aid. And I'm going to do it with my Raising Rio Foundation, named after my son, Rio Jackson Robbins.
Moving on to Miss Central African Republic, Utah.
Hello, my name is Amira. It is an honor for me to represent my country, Central African Republic, for the first time at Miss Africa Utah 2020. I was born and raised in Central African Republic, but in 2013 a civil war destroyed my country. Then I fled alone to seek refuge in Chad, a neighboring country. I arrived in the US last year through the Refugee Resettlement Program. I work as a digital marketer and I go to school for web design. I like using my free time to be useful and helpful to my community. Reason why I help the International Rescue Committee for interpreting from English to Songo to facilitate communication within my community. I like reading books, new challenges, and learn new skills. 3 years ago, my mom passed away from breast cancer. She struggled with this disease since my birth. I literally grew up watching my mom fighting. Because of early detection and treatment, she was able to fight for 20 years. Today, statistics show that breast cancer is one of the most common cancer affecting women. Screening with mammography has been identified as one of the most effective methods for early detection and prevention. Refugees, as with all the US population, should receive cancer screening according to the cancer screening guidelines. But the new arrival medical examination may not be the ideal time since those refugees have experienced traumatic events, sexual assault. But if an appropriate environment can be created, trust established, cultural norms respected, and the risk of additional trauma minimized for those refugees, I think that this is an opportunity to do cancer screening. Breast cancer usually has no symptoms when the tumor is small and most treatable. So many women don't know that they have the disease, and when they discover it, it's sometimes at a more advanced stage. There are also many factors that may contribute to this lower rate of routine and preventive health among those minority populations such as refugees, immigrant, or African American, such as socioeconomic factors, language and communication barriers, understanding and education about those topics, sometimes cultural and religious belief related to health care. Did you know that 98% of women survive with early detection of breast cancer? I choose to create my platform named Preventer because I know that there is a need of more communication, education, and resources to reach those women, especially refugees and immigrants, with the message of preventive health, because I believe that the best protection is prevention. So, to achieve my platform's goal, I plan to organize educational workshops about breast cancer, walk to local events, and work with local institutions. All the women sessions with real people and real story to motivate women and inspire them. And finally, using social media to share Did You Know message. I will reach caseworkers from the IRC and the refugee center to refer those refugees to my page. I am also planning to work with some breast cancer survivors to extend the message of educating women about breast cancer. For example, I am working with Patricia, who is a breast cancer survivor who fights for self-breast exam. I envision to start a nonprofit headquartered here in Salt Lake City in the memory of my mother breast cancer fighting. I grew up wondering when my mom will die from this disease. I grew up wondering if I will have breast cancer one day. This is also my way to educate young women like me about preventive health. No kid has to worry about that. And also, I want to extend this message all over the world, including my home country, when women need to talk about those topics. Women need to be educated and get resources like mammography. I want you to help me help those women by donating to my platform. Thank you.
Our next contestant is Miss Ghana, Utah.
Akwaba. My name is Perpetual Korkor Afia Nala Stevens, and I am representing the beautiful country of Ghana for this year's Miss Africa Utah 2020. I lived in an orphanage until I was 7 and then was adopted and moved to America. When I was first adopted, I couldn't speak English very well, so I had to be creative. I used arts and crafts like drawing and painting to express myself and took joy in playing sports like basketball, soccer, and volleyball. Being adopted has taught me to embrace my differences and to be thankful for what God has blessed me with. I'm currently studying psychology and criminology at the University of Utah and want to further my education in criminology so I can help those who are vulnerable to the criminal justice system. As I mentioned earlier, I lived in an orphanage before I was adopted. While I was there, I endured multiple accounts of abuse, starvation, and neglect. The things I saw were horrific, and I don't want any child to ever have to go through these things. This is why I want to partner up with Kaime. Kaime is a nonprofit that directly works with the Department of Social Welfare in Ghana to ensure that these children are returned or united to loving families and are given the proper resources to help them thrive. Kaime has been operating for over 10 years, and this is the amazing and incredible impact they've made in these families and children's lives.
Our vision and the hope we have for Kaime is to help the Department of Social Welfare to prevent children from getting into orphanage, and every child who has a family and lives in an orphanage be returned to their family. And then we will support them with educational support and any other support that will be necessary, as we have been doing. And that is the vision of Kaime.
Our main objective, why we have been set up, is to help the government of Ghana through the Department of Social Welfare to roll out their child protection policy, especially the care reform initiative.
Kaime helped my father bring me home. Kaime pays my school fees, which will help me become a nurse in future.
About 80% were children who had families, with at least one parent alive. Kaime is doing a lot of work now in the area of ensuring that children have family care instead of institutional care. And I encourage all other NGOs also to start taking this issue up and ensuring that instead of pushing children into orphanages or instead of providing options that are not suitable, they should ensure that children should live in families, because families are forever, as we say.
Most of the children in orphanages are actually not orphans. We always diagnose that they are there because of poverty. Now that's a good diagnosis, but the treatment for poverty is not family separation.
Our father passed away and my mother took us to the orphanage and for educational support, and we stayed there for 10 years.
Kaime has really changed our life. terms of helping our educational needs, and for me, it has also helped me to know my cultures and
also supporting me in school have also helped me to know other relatives.
I would like to say thank you to Kami Foundation for helping me to know my family, to experience family love, and I also encourage them to help those children like me at the orphanage to have family care, to know that they also have a family who cares for them.
I'm a father to Elizabeth Annan. I thank Kaimi what they have done to me and my daughter. I'm begging God to shower His blessing upon Kami. What they have done to me, I have nothing to give them.
In Tree, Kaime means remember me. Having been in the same situation these children are in, I am far too familiar with the feeling of being forgotten. With your help, we can make these children our priority. In my first quarter, I want to dedicate myself to educating those who are not well informed with the orphanage system in Ghana. Many people believe that orphanages are good for countries like Ghana, but the truth is they end up hurting these innocent children. With your help, I will dedicate my second and third quarter to raising money and donating supplies and kits for these children in orphanages. I will do this by hosting multiple fundraisers with different stations, such as making blankets, putting together feminine and toiletry kits, and a station for writing letters so the children do not feel alone. I would also have drop-off bins at different locations for people who can't make it to the fundraiser due to the pandemic. With my last quarter, I will travel to Ghana and deliver the kits to the children who are going through the process from being in an orphanage to being in a family, a less stressful transition. These children are the future of Africa, so let's use our resources to ensure that they are not forgotten, that they are in fact remembered.
Coming up next is Miss Kenya, Utah.
Good evening, friends. I'm Aziza, and I'm honored to be your Miss Kenya representative for Miss Africa Utah 2020. Throughout my life, I have experienced many challenges, from not fitting in when I was a kid because I couldn't walk until the age of 5, to losing my childhood friends due to being diagnosed with bipolar disorder and them not understanding what that is. I have learned one repetitive lesson, that sometimes we judge people too quickly based on their physical attributes, and that we are terrified of the unknown. Because we can be so quick to judge others, our differences seem more like our weaknesses instead of them making us more rounded and interesting individuals for our communities. So I have made it my mission in life to get to know people on a deeper level and to learn from them, and to leave every person I encounter better than when I met them. I currently reside in West Jordan, Utah. I graduated with my bachelor's degree from the University of Utah in Human Development and Family Studies because of my love for the complexity of the human brain at all stages in life, from conception to death. Some of my hobbies include hiking, reading, running, being with animals, especially cats and horses, and spending time with children and the elderly. However, my greatest aspiration in life is to use my challenging life experiences to be more sympathetic towards others who may be going through similar challenges. I want to create safe spaces where they can come together, share their personal experiences, and access resources to help them earlier on. I feel extremely passionate about bringing awareness to mental health amongst the youth because of my previous experiences with being hospitalized due to my bipolar disorder and other mental health illnesses. I also feel inspired by my love for bringing people together and helping each one of us feel the love and appreciation that we have for one another. It has been my dream to be a nurse since the age of 9. My passion for taking care of others, especially the elderly, has led me to pursue a certified nursing assistant certification. It was essential for me to get my CNA certificate to boost my skills and become an efficient nurse. Being a nurse will provide me with different opportunities in the community, allowing me to take advantage of my personal passion for bringing refugees together and being an advocate for those that are struggling with mental illness. I desire to help them feel and be accepted, appreciated, and to know that they do not have to fight the battle alone. My personal experience motivates me to give back to the youth. Many people struggle with mental illness. The National Alliance of Mental Illness states that 1 out of every 5 people is living with a mental illness condition. However, because it is still a taboo topic even in the United States, those individuals feel like they must battle those struggles alone. I spent many years feeling that same way. I was first diagnosed at the age of 13 when I was hospitalized for attempting suicide and had to have my stomach pumped. It was not until a couple of years ago that I have learned to see my struggle with maintaining my mental health as my superpower. It provides me with the opportunity to embrace many individuals that are different from me, with the unique skills of empathy and passion for wanting a deeper relationship with everyone I encounter. I see them all as teachers on this path of life. And that is why my platform, Parents Empowering Refugee Children to Thrive on Mental Illness Project, will be focusing on providing education and support to refugee parents so that they can be advocates for their children that are struggling with mental illness conditions, thrive and live life to the fullest, instead of spending their life feeling ashamed and wishing to be different. With Parents Empowering Refugee Children to Thrive with Mental Illness Project, I will be volunteering with existing programs that support refugees to establish rapport with the parents and children, lead workshops that are specific to refugee parents' education, lead my own workshop about a mental health-related topic once a month, expand the refugee support group that I helped establish at the University of Utah into the community. I have high ambitions and plan on bringing mental health awareness to the refugee communities and providing resources to parents to be a support system for their children, helping them thrive while living with mental illness. I would like to acknowledge that it is only fair that you all would have questions. I am betting that you all are wondering, how would my project be different from the already existing services that support refugees? Let me assure you that my project is by no means in competition with any other project. I have explored the existing programs and they are all wonderful. However, what I realize is that they work on redirecting people to other resources, whereas this project will be diving deeper and focusing on providing the space to have deeper conversations and provide emotional support. As a refugee, as well as working with and interacting with other refugees, I have learned that it is a lot easier for refugees to open up when they're in a group setting. And I believe that this project would be the perfect opportunity to bring us all together, which is a form of emotional support, and in my opinion, the most preferred form of therapy for refugees. During the last quarter of my year as a queen, with the project established and running, I believe that it would be the perfect time to obtain a licensed therapist into the group as a source of additional support. Once we have built a rapport and know and trust one another, only then would the members be interested in including a therapist into the group. I believe that all the existing programs are necessary, and Parents Empowering Refugee Children to Thrive with Mental Illness Project can be just what we need to bridge the gap between professionals and the refugee communities. I truly believe that with Parents Empowering Refugee Children to Thrive with Mental Illness project, alongside with all the other existing programs, refugees are on to a brighter future where children with mental illnesses are treated with respect, dignity, acceptance, and love just like every other child. And that this program is the answer to getting parents equipped with the tools and support that they need to help their children thrive. Thank you for allowing me to share my project ideas with you, and I'm asking for your support to help me turn this dream into a reality.
Ms. Guinea Equatorial, Utah will be next.
Hola, me llamo Ninindongo Macías, soy la Miss Guinea Ecuatorial 2020 en el concurso de Miss Africa Utah. En este momento estoy trabajando en un lugar y también no estoy en el colegio, pero ojalá a finales de este año puedo, o si no, por eso de COVID, comenzando el año que viene, puedo ir al colegio otra vez para comenzar college. I was born and raised in Salt Lake City, Utah. I'm the youngest out of 19. Even though I was born in the United States, my mom always instilled in us, all of her kids, that, you know, your origins what matters the most. Like, you shouldn't forget who you are or where you come from. So that's what we grew up listening to. So we didn't, like, unless you ask us, like, where we were born, we'll just tell you straight from where we're from, which is La República de Guinea Ecuatorial. Some of my hobbies, I actually like to record funny videos on Instagram and TikTok. I actually picked that up after quarantine, because I was bored and I was just like, you know what, why don't I just go back to 10 years ago or 20 years ago and just be goofy and be weird. And I'm also kind of a homebody, so I'm always at home with my mom. I love my mom. La señora Bella Macías, te quiero, te amo mucho, eres mi corazón. Mi papá, que falleció, pero está con los ángeles, Jesús Ndongo. Mis hermanos, Bebita, Solo, Sasa, y también mis sobrinos Beyoncé, Dante, Titi, Dredre, Lupis, Jesús Pequeños, como le llamo yo, y Justice and Courage, que son mi familia, os amo mucho, y mi tío José Antonio también. En estos momentos también estoy grabando en el Utah Industry. Saqué algunas como mini películas, no nada así como Hollywood, pero en estos momentos también estoy grabando. Ojalá también pueda mandarlo para que podáis verlo. También algo más que quería decir es que mi familia me criaron de que tienes que ser tú, siempre tú, nadie más. Por eso, that ties down to my platform, which is called Revolutionary Gal. Gal is basically gyaru in Japanese, where it originated. It's a subculture, and it's also a fashion statement basically combating the beauty standards or the standards in general that are put on you based on what you look like, where you're from, what race you are, what gender you are, and that's something that I kind of want to combat, because I feel like everybody should be able to be themselves. And coming from a background of Equatorial Guineans, our country has always been kind of different in terms of we always had different interests. We never really was put in the category of an African by other Africans, so it's kind of being a gal is kind of something natural to us. So what I plan to do is I plan to go to colleges or high schools or middle schools and kind of make a club where kids and young adults can feel they can be themselves without being made fun of, without thinking that they need to fit into unrealistic standards that the people putting them on won't fit in themselves. And growing up especially, I've always heard in school or with some friends from the Americas that, oh, you're not African enough, oh, you're not Hispanic enough, oh, you're not American enough, instead of just letting me kind of be myself. And that's kind of what I want to do with this platform. So my main goal is to basically help kids know more about the gal culture, because it helped me personally, so I feel like it can help other kids. And my demographic is mainly, I would say any age, but I would say 12 to 24 is more of the age ranges where you kind of have that identity crisis at an early age. So it will be mostly aimed for them. And yeah, that's my platform. Thank you so much. Your Miss Guinea Equatorial 2020.
Miss North Sudan.
Hi guys, my name is Easter Shadak. I was born in Ethiopia, originally from North Sudan. We came to America in 1999 when I was about 1.5 years old. I don't remember anything from home. I just remember we left because of the war. So my parents moved to the camp in Ethiopia on March 15, 1987. They lived in the camp for about 3 years. Then they went back to Sudan in 1998. They stayed there for 1 year, and then they came back to Ethiopia in 1991. My older brother was born in Ethiopia in 1993. They were still living in the camp at that time. Then my older sister was born in Ethiopia as well in 1996. 3 years later, I was born in 1998. Then 1 year later, we touched down in Salt Lake City, Utah in September of 1999. Been in America for about 20 years now. Currently, I am living in South Salt Lake with my son, who is 2 years old. I am going back to school in 2020. My parents, Matthias and Malhassan, would always tell me and my siblings school was very important and that it was one of the reasons why we came to America. It was to get a good education and live a longer, better life. I am also the secretary of our Uruk youth community, where we get together and plan things for our youth like activities and games so that we can keep our culture. My platform is on issues facing young single mothers. I was 19 at the time I had my first baby. It was very hard. I was very depressed and would not want to be bothered, but I did need someone to talk to about how I was feeling. I had no one, or I just did not know how I was going to express how I was feeling. So now I want to be that voice for all the young single mothers who need someone to talk to or who needs help with anything. When I was pregnant, I went to most of my doctor's appointments alone. I would talk to myself like, why? Why am I here alone? I did not make this child alone. I would always tell myself, whatever happens, I will always take care of my child. I did it. I have many more years to come and many more things to accomplish. As a single mother, you will grow and you will learn. You will love your child as you first lay eyes on that beautiful angel.
Next is Miss Rwanda, Utah.
Hi, my name is Pauline Makoma. I am representing Rwanda in Miss Africa 2020. I have a passion for fast developing technology, and as of this fall, I will be joining the University of Utah as a software engineering student. I love to spend my weekend outdoors, swimming, hiking, or doing something simple like reading a book. I was born and raised in Rwanda before my family and I moved to the United States about 4 years ago. Growing up as the only girl in a family of 6 has taught me how to stay resilient, organized, hardworking, and selfless. Growing up in Rwanda, there were not that many opportunities that allowed me to explore different career fields. But about 2 years ago, I was fortunate enough to get a scholarship that got me into a 3-month coding boot camp that changed my life forever. Even though I'm so grateful for this opportunity that changed my life together, I cannot help but think of how many other young African girls that still struggle to see themselves in technology or STEM. Because of social stereotypes, lack of representation, but most importantly, lack of opportunities, it becomes even harder for Black women to join these career fields that are highly dominated by men. Anybody can be an expert given the opportunity to learn how to be an expert. This is why I have created African Girls Career Vision as my platform, which will target young African women from the age of 16 and above to explore career fields that are not looked at as traditional. African Girls Career Vision goal is to create a space where young African girls can dream and set plans to realize their dreams. With help of one-on-one mentorship, we'll be able to have a more personal guidance for everyone in the program, exploring career fields that they want to get into, working on resumes, and applying for available scholarships. All in all, to help them be who they were meant to be. The implementation of my platform will start during my reign as Miss Africa Utah 2020, where in the first 2 quarters, African Girls Career Vision will carry out 2 workshops hosting successful Black women to share their stories, to help build students' confidence, ignite their curiosity, and sharpen their dreams. Starting at 2 different high schools here in Utah, Cottonwood High and West High School, which could also be online depending on the situation with COVID-19. In my 3rd quarter, my hope is to travel back to my home country and carry out an in-person workshop at my former high school. I know this might not be the case because of these unprecedented times that we're going through, which is why I organized a group of friends back home that would help me carry out an online workshop. My 4th quarter will be dedicated to following up with the students and supporting the ones that show proof of determination to achieve a career through an annual scholarship fundraising for the 2 brightest stars. Fundraising will be through a form of a culture show titled Rwanda Night, which will not only help us raise money, but also showcase the beauty of Rwanda and Africa in general. I believe that you cannot be what you cannot see. Maybe we all can be engineers or doctors, we can pursue different careers, but there is nothing more heartbreaking than to know that you did not pursue your dreams because fear, limitation, lack of exposure, or opportunities in the society in which you were born. But that is what African Girls Career Vision is here to make sure it stops during and after my reign as Miss Africa Utah. My platform is expected to reach about 300 young African women in a period of 12 months. It is with great honor that I invite you to join me in creating and finding opportunities for young African women to take up space and be the outliers they're meant to be, here in Utah, in Africa, and all over the world. I am Miss Rwanda Utah 2020.
Now over to Miss Sierra Leone, Utah.
My name is Sere Kalon. I'm representing Sierra Leone in Miss Africa Utah. Sierra Leone is located on the west coast of Africa because of its diamond, gold, and rutile. It's known as the little joy of Africa. It's one of the most diverse countries in Africa where you find this fusion of culture, religions, and races. At some point in history, Sierra Leone was also known as the departure point for slavery. I was born in Bowtown, second city and southern province of the country. 2 things that I learned: grow up, never give up in life, and work hard. In 2005, I got blessed to move to the United States in Utah, where I work as an assistant memory care coordinator at the Cedarwood community. I'll be starting school in the fall 2020 to study ministry and leadership. That will bring me close to accomplish my goal. I love to sing, spend time with my kids, dance, and above all, pray. Being raised by a single mom and seeing her struggling to put food on the table and paying our school fees, I developed a great passion to help the fatherless. Hope for the Fatherless is a platform designed to help kids ranging from 0 to 18 years old in Sierra Leone for a brighter future. As a single mom living in America, I experienced hard time in providing basic needs as creating a way for them to have a great future. There is a father absence crisis in America. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, 19.7 million children, more than 1 in 4, live without a father in the home. 1 in every 4 children under the age of 18 live without a father in Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone is one of the poorest countries in Africa with a limited opportunity, making it difficult for a single mother or widows to provide a general well-being for their children. Hope for the Fatherless aim to give love, encourage, hope in God, to give security and motivation for the children for a brighter future. There's so many children in Sierra Leone that drop out of school at a young age because of their single mother could not afford to take care of them. Most of these children miss their opportunity and end up in a bad situation, such as rape, early marriage, early pregnancy for young girls. And the boys end up in prison or do drugs. I have a passion to give a unique and meaningful gift that will bring joy and change life. I want to instill in these kids hope, education, and stop early marriages, reduce child labor, prostitution, and promote health for a better tomorrow. This is a great task that I alone cannot accomplish, which is why I plan to connect with Save Our Soul, SOS, in Sierra Leone, and Utah local non-profit organization and other community for a collaboration to create a brighter future for children through education and empowerment of a new generation with independence and choices. I want to have my own non-profit organization in Sierra Leone for the fatherless. Things that I have to do during this COVID-19 pandemic. I have joined a prayer group. I've been praying for people, giving them words of encouragement, help them with mental healing, praying for the sick, and organizing a fundraising with my friends, helping the poor and the widows with food. I plan to organize a fundraising event in 4 quarters to keep my platform running. From this period between September and December 2020, I will work to connect with the African Committee and organization in Utah to help me organize a fundraising and leadership skills to establish my platform. So I will organize a second fundraising between January to April in Utah and connect with a trustworthy organization in Sierra Leone like SOS to work with my platform. Starting in May to August 2021, I'll organize my third fundraising and connect with the communities and churches in Sierra Leone and later connect with big organizations. So like SOS, my team and I will work together to identify the single mothers / widow family in Sierra Leone and come up with a way to help support these fatherless kids. Lastly, all the money I get, I will use to help with school supplies, tuition, food, medical, and also plan to visit Sierra Leone to check the work in progress and seek feedback and the ways to improvement. So I believe Hope for the Fatherless will be able to help save someone's future and give them security with the help of the community. I am your Miss Sierra Leone.
Wow, that was something else, wasn't it? I know I enjoyed it. Let's hear what our judges have to say about it.
I know that everyone has had to get really creative and just really appreciated all the effort and time the participants put in their performances. Each participant had such an inspiring and personal story. I was overwhelmed and so touched by every single person's really personal story and the way that they made themselves vulnerable this year. I loved learning more about every person's country, culture, background, and their individual passions. Miss Cameroon, my goodness, what an engaging smile, your eye contact, your personality on camera, your presentation skills were so impressive. And the fact that you named your platform after your son was just so heartwarming. The beaming smile you had when you shared the connection to your son and your platform was just really, really heartwarming and engaging. And I loved your dedication to helping women experience healthier pregnancies. I thought that was really incredible. And you're bringing much needed attention to the fact that so many racial disparities exist in healthcare. So I thank you so much for everything that you've done to bring awareness to this cause. Miss Central African Republic, your story was so inspiring. You have clearly overcome so many challenges and obstacles, and the fact that you are so passionate about your community and about increasing breast cancer screenings was just really incredible. I have also experienced loss due to breast cancer in my family, and so I really felt personally tied to your story as well, and I just really appreciated you being vulnerable and sharing all of that with us. Miss Ghana, our children are our future. I loved that you selected a platform that identified such a vulnerable and precious population of people, and you're planning on providing a lot of resources and trying to better their lives. I see how it directly ties to your background, and I love that you shared your experiences with us, and again, just you're so vulnerable in sharing your background and your experiences. Miss Kenya, your confident personality was, in my opinion, your strongest asset in this competition. You seem to just really have fun and bring a light in your performance that put a huge smile on my face. I loved your sass. I loved the way that you displayed your confidence. I love that you selected mental health as your platform, as I really believe it's an area that needs more attention, particularly in times like this. So again, thank you for bringing such an important issue to the attention of the entire audience and everyone watching this performance. Miss Guinea Equatorial, I loved that your family and your culture were such a center of clearly everything that you do. You really conveyed how important those things are to you. And I've also loved the uniqueness of your platform. I had to do a bit more research about this space after watching your performance, and I really enjoyed that you focus on making sure women know that they are loved unconditionally in their current state of being, because I think it's a message we all need to hear, particularly women of color. And I just, again, loved that you brought attention to that important issue. Miss North Sudan, what a strong woman you are to go through childbirth alone and then become a voice for single mothers. I love that you wanted to help shoulder the burden that these women experience, and women who may be struggling and need a shoulder to cry on and need to know that they have support in their community. So again, thank you for bringing attention to a really critical, important issue. Miss Rwanda, I loved that you're a woman in tech. As a person who works in the business school space, this is an area that I push a lot. We need more representation in tech and STEM spaces, particularly women and specifically women of color. So I love that you're pushing for African women to be more present in this space. And they do need to see other women of color in these types of jobs to feel that their own aspirations are possible. So thank you so much for representing women in color in this space. Miss Sierra Leone, single mothers are some of the most strong women that I know. I love that you're providing support for these women and their children, and I appreciate you sharing how many children live without a father in your home country. I sincerely believe that hearing the data and hearing your passion connected to this issue is going to inspire others to help contribute to this cause and make things better for the future. So thank you so much for taking the time to really bring light to this issue.
The contestants are all amazing for me, and 8 of them are incredibly unique. They have different ideas, different energy. They are all amazing actually. They all represent Africa in a good way for me. That's how I see them. And even sometimes it's very hard to give them the square because they are all, they have amazing ideas on the platform and what they are trying to do. So everything is, for me, so unbelievable. That's so good. Thank you so much for even giving me this opportunity now.
But overall, I thought that they did a really good job. A lot of these girls are very talented and they've had a lot of past experience in community work that has really driven their platform. And I think they're gonna do a really good job whether they get selected as queen or not.
It's amazing to see all of the different initiatives that that folks are either suggesting, talking about, or currently have in existence. Like everything personal from postpartum issues to adoption issues to childhood brain issues. Like it's each of the individual platforms and projects is super impactful and feels like something that should already be going on, and I couldn't be more proud of all of these ladies for having such impactful projects in mind.
This was so much fun. I hope you all got to know your contestants as much as I did. So thank you for joining us today. And don't forget, please do vote for your favorite contestants in the People's Choice Awards. Remember that voting ends in 4 days, so get right on that. We'll see you back here tomorrow, same time, same place.